Hello everybody and welcome to Shen Plays. I'm your host Shenner and we're currently playing, well, it's a brand new Let's Play, isn't it? This is a game called Pharaoh with the expansion Cleopatra. And this is put out by Impressions Games, which I don't even know if they exist anymore, but they used to make a whole series of games based on this engine, city building engine. I don't know what engine it is, but all the games are pretty much the same thing. There's Ancient Egypt, which is this game. There's Ancient China, which is a game called Emperor. There's Ancient Greece. There's Ancient Rome. There's a whole bunch of games they do based off this engine, and they're all very similar. You build a bunch of housing areas, and then you upgrade the housing areas based on the buildings that you put next to them, and you kind of have to worry about what sort of road network you build, because the path of the little people from each building will vary. It's kind of a random thing. Anyway, this was a game that I played quite a bit, so I'm not going to play all the games from the Impression series. There's no point. I'm just going to play this one, because they're all pretty much the same game, with different graphics. Anyway, let's get in the game. We need a family name. Of course we need a family name. I'm going to be... yeah, sure. Shen Plays Family. Why not? Let's begin our family mission, our family history. So we start in the pre-dynastic period. You can see we'll eventually unlock the Archaic period, the Old Kingdom, Middle, and the New Kingdom. And then with the Cleopatra expansion, there's the Valley of the Kings, Ramses II. There's a whole bunch of shit to do.
Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the Pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations. You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond. Our story begins more than 5,000 years ago, along the banks of the Nile River in an area known as Nubt. Here, a small confederacy of clans struggles to eke out an existence in the harsh environment. With you at its head, your family leads this small settlement.
Alright, so our first mission takes place in Nubt. There really isn't anything here. The whole idea of these first few missions is to get acquainted with the game. So they're going to show us how to go from nothing, which is just pretty much just a road in the dirt. We're going to go from nothing to actually having a little civilization going. So I'm not going to go through the little help things, because I have a pretty good understanding of how all this works. So the first thing we're going to do is slow down the damn game. You can see there's some ostriches down here. See? Ostrich. And they move in super slow motion when we slow the game down, which is great. That's what I want. Let's rotate the city a bit. There we go. So this is the road that leads through our little town, and we have a lake, and then we have the Nile River. And the Nile River has these areas, which are just pretty much wasteland. It's just like marsh. Yeah, marshland. And then it has these areas, these brown things. This is called Floodplain. And what will happen is during the course of the year, right now we're in January, but over the course of the year, the Nile will flood, and it'll cover up all this land. And then the flood will recede, and then the land will be visible again. And we'll be able to farm all that shit. Not in this mission, but later missions we'll be able to farm all that shit. Great farmland, and it's a good explanation for people who don't have understanding of how the civilization grew in Egypt. It was hugely based on the Nile. Anyway, we're just going to ignore the Nile for this mission. For this mission, our goal is to build some housing areas to get the people moving in. So we're going to start with a road, but we're going to build our housing a little bit away from the road. We're going to build it around this lake. So let's build our little road, put some houses along the road, like so. And I'm going to build some little crossroads like this. Now, I know this isn't the optimal building plan. For anyone who's played any of the Impressions game series, if you go through like the walkthroughs and everything, people are really detailed in the ways you should build your city from the ground up. Because if you don't do it a certain way, you wind up with really complicated situations where the little workers won't move the way you want them to move and stuff. But I don't really care. This is the first mission. It doesn't matter that much. So let's put the speed up and let's watch some people come in. Ah, here we go. And if we click on the people, we can see they actually have a name. Horwebifer, Kenstoth, Inerus, they all have names, which is cool. I like that. And they actually have ideas. Like they'll tell you, I heard there was a job here for anyone who wants one. Well, that's a lie. We don't have any jobs yet. I'm new here. I wonder what the city will offer to a person like me. So they all have different ideas. And you can see they start out with these little huts. And then when they get 4 of them together, they upgrade into a bigger hut. Now, individually, these little huts can only hold 5 people. And then 4 of them can hold 20 people. 6 for 14, yeah. So we can fit 20 people in these huts. But as the city grows, well, as the people move in, we'll start upgrading the city. And once we upgrade the city a little bit, it'll be able to upgrade the little huts to better things. Alright, food or famine. So we're not going to read all this, but basically it's telling you that you build a hunter, whatever they're called, hunter hut, and they'll head out and they'll hunt the ostriches or whatever food's around. And then they'll return the food to a granary, which will store the food, and then the food will eventually get to a bazaar, and the bazaar will distribute the food around your city. So we're going to build our hunting lodge, that's what it's called. We're going to build the hunting lodge. And then when it gets some employees, it doesn't have any right now, but when it gets some employees, they'll start hunting the ostriches. And since this is like a tutorial phase, they lock up most of the stuff. Religion, entertainment, industrial, municipal, education. Everything is locked at the start because they want you to get a feel for how the game works before you start doing advanced things. Still no employees here. Come on. Someone wants to work here, right? Who wants to hunt ostriches? You? He's a citizen. Come on. No? Someone wants to hunt ostriches. I know they do. Ostrich meat is delicious. Come on, there's one right there. Doesn't have a name, though. Wish you could name him. Come on. Put the speed up to 100%. There we go. Alright, so now we have a hunter. 2 hunters. Shedsunefertum. Ostriches are nearly invisible when they put their heads in the sand. Sure. Okay, so the first thing this is going to unlock for us after food is a, what do they call them? Fire marshal. So we're going to build a little hut for a fire marshal, and that is going to hopefully put out this frickin' fire down here. Firehouse. Alright, put out the fire. Because fires can spread, and they're really annoying. Alright, so here's our little fire marshal. His name is Mary Neba. Fire marshal. Even when fires are burning, all I can think about is how hungry I am. So he's hungry. And the people will tell you what they want. But since we have our hunting lodge, we can now build a granary, which is where they're going to store the food. And then after the granary, we need to build a bazaar, which is where they distribute the food. I'm just going to put them all right next to each other because it doesn't really matter. It's the first mission. Alright, you can see the fire marshal put out the fire. That's great. So we can rebuild that house now. Now, Allometer prediction. Prediction that the city will be blessed with a perfect inundation this year. That's nice. Also, did you notice it called us Shen Plays the First? To Shen Plays the First. That's our name, apparently. Alright, so the granary has some employees, 12 employees, and they're storing some food. So pretty soon the bazaar, there we go. Bazaar has some employees. There's still no food there yet. But they'll eventually get there. He has another fire. Come on, fire marshal. Do your job. There he goes. He's putting it out. Anyway, as the fire marshal walks past buildings, the buildings will have a reduced risk of catching on fire. And we can view that if we go to Overlays, Risks, Fire. You see there's a big fire risk over here because this dude has never walked past that building before. So hopefully he'll get over there eventually. But you can see he's walking like a random path. And it's one of the really annoying things in this game is you can't tell these people to walk to a certain area. So one option would be to build a second fire marshal hut somewhere so that we would have more coverage. But as you can see, these buildings catch fire to neighboring buildings really quick. So like this place caught fire and then the other two right next to it caught fire instantly. So I am going to build another fire marshal hut just because I'm sick of having fires over here. Fires are annoying, man. They destroy the buildings, so all that food that was stored over here, it's gone. All of it's gone. Once the fires are put out, we can destroy the rubble. There we go. And we have to build all these new buildings again. At least they build instantly. Alright, next thing it unlocked for us is a water supply. Same thing as food supply, except it's much less complicated. You just drop it down and it's done. We'll put it right here. Actually, I'm going to delete this road so that you can't walk that path, because I don't want you deviating from the path that I designate for you. And that's one way to limit. Here we go. So our houses are upgrading now. So we started with these crude huts, and now they've upgraded to a sturdy hut. And the reason it's done that is because it now has food or water. I think water. Once they have access to water, this dude, the water carrier. If I were a god, I wouldn't be pleased with the city's lack of attention to me. Yeah. Tell me more. I see plenty of people out of work as I make my deliveries. Tell me more. Carrying water is not entertainment. I wish we had some real diversions here. So basically he's demanding stuff entertainment, which we can't provide yet because this mission doesn't let us build entertainment buildings. It's just kind of like a tutorial. It's not a big deal. So these sturdy huts can actually hold more people. Instead of 20, now they can hold 28, which is great. More people for our town. So they tell you it has 24, but it can fit 4 more people. Each of these people is actually 4 people, because it's essentially a father, a mother, and 2 children. So each person is 4 people. And the only name it gives you is for the father, because apparently the other 3 don't matter. But as you can see, when they move into a hut, it actually adds 4 population. And the population of our town will go up by 4 each time one of these people enters a hut. Alright, so we should have enough fire and water for our city. And hopefully food as well. Yeah, there's no fire risks anymore. It's good. Still don't have any fucking food. Come on, man. So it says the buildings will tell you what they need to evolve. Like this one will tell you it doesn't have a water source nearby. Well, the water carrier just hasn't come by the building yet. And this one will tell you it doesn't have any food yet. So here comes the food lady. Oh, come on, lady. She carries a basket of food on her head. There we go. Bazaar trader. I do my best to give the people what they want. Damn straight. Alright, so this building just upgraded because she just walked past it with food. So it's a meager shanty now. And it says, a nearby building, the granary, is having a detrimental effect on the desirability of location. Desirability, really? I did not know desirability was part of... There we go, desirability. So there's... yeah. Basically, our town is ugly and nasty, so no one wants to live here. Desirability is shit. Okay, understandable. There's a little food carrier. Come on, you gotta walk this way at some point, right, lady? Nope. That's the thing. All these people, they take random paths. So the more twists and turns you have in your road network, like we have tons of twists and turns, the more likely they are to deviate from the course that you would rather have them take, which means these little places are probably never going to have any food because this bitch won't walk over there. So one thing we could do is build another bazaar over here. That would force it to have one person with food in the area. Other thing we could do is change the road network. I think that's probably the... Oh, well, we just finished anyway. Whatever, so we got our 6 meager shanties, not a big deal. I guess these little individual buildings count as meager shanties. Anyway, that'll have to do.
Well done. By filling your people's bellies with nourishing food and protecting their homes from fire and collapse, you have helped this fledgling civilization take its first step on the long road of history.
Alright, so we have culture rating of 0, prosperity rating of 0, kingdom rating of 50, city funds of 650, population of 340, and we completed the mission in 20 months, difficulty on norm. I'm not going to bother with difficulty level. I'm just doing this for the fun of it and sharing with you guys, so I don't care about how difficult it is. So it says you completed the mission successfully, but Zazamuk the First still reigns supreme in this city. Basically, it keeps a score for every single mission that you've done, and you get a score based on your culture, your prosperity, everything, blah, 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 and it adds it up, and here's your score, 1012. And someone's already done this, probably me, or maybe this is the default that's saved in the game from the beginning, and they've completed the mission with a better score. Anyway, I'm not going to right-click to continue because I think we should end this video here. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this today. Next time we're going to go into the next mission, which will I forget what the order is. But anyway, it'll introduce more aspects of the game. So as always, subscribe if you want to see more of my bullshit. Leave some comments if you just want to chit chat. That's cool. And if you want to see any more of my Let's Plays, you can go to my videos channel and then click on playlists. I keep all my Let's Plays in a different playlist. Anyway, see you guys later.